Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy, and welcome to Malibu, gorgeous Southern California. Some late night West Coast Conference action. Number 2 Gonzaga and the Pepperdine Waves from Firestone Fieldhouse here tonight as the Zags have beaten Pepperdine 38 consecutive times, and the highest scoring team in the country has a firm grasp on the West Coast Conference. You look at the standings, and the Zags, there's their cushion over BYU and St. Mary's atop the WCC. Along with former Arizona standout Corey Williams, Roxy Bernstein with you. All right, Corey, for Pepperdine to shock the world tonight, what do they need to do against number 2 Gonzaga?
Well, the first thing they need to do is slow this game down. They played them to 5 points up in Spokane. They're a team that scores around 90 points a game. For Pepperdine to have a chance, they want to slow them down. And secondly, they have to make the big plays to keep this momentum in this crowd locked in. Those are the 2 key things if they want to try to steal a win tonight.
Is an overflow crowd here in Malibu for this one. It's been sold out for weeks, anticipating the matchup with number 2 Gonzaga. The Zags have 7 players averaging double figures. No other team in the country has more than 5 averaging double digits, and they're the highest scoring team in the country, 88.5 points per game for Mark Few Zags, who've won 17 straight coming into Malibu tonight. But they could be shorthanded tonight. It's a game-time decision for Killian Tilly. His ongoing ankle issue flared up again. He's day-to-day. They're hoping that maybe he can go tonight, but don't be surprised if Killian Tilly does not see the floor for Gonzaga in this one. How does that affect the Bulldogs?
Well, Mark Few and his staff will tell you it's next man up, but it's simply just not the case. At 6'10", he does a lot for him. 13 points, grabs around 5 boards. Huge difference when you're missing a big versus a guard.
So Drew Timme gets the start in place of Killian Tilly, as Gonzaga hasn't played since last Saturday night when they destroyed St. Mary's in Moraga. It was the worst home loss for Randy Bennett as the St. Mary's head coach. 90-60, Gonzaga thrashed the Gales. Inside here is Drew Timme, who went for a career-high 20 last Saturday night. He gets the game's first points.
And you can see early on the attack mode for the Zags. They want to play inside. They've got quality bigs, slight size advantage.
Going inside is Pepperdine. It spins out for Cameron Edwards. The follow from his younger brother, Kessler Edwards.
They may be undersized, but those 2, their quickness and their athleticism, are going to cause problems on offense.
At the rim, the miss. A good look for Philip Petrusev. Colby Ross coming off a game-winning shot as Pepperdine rallied from 12 down here Thursday night in the second half to beat San Diego, and we got a wedgie from Ross on his first shot of the night. But he had 21 points, 8 assists, the game-winning 3 against San Diego. As Mark Few, the 13-time West Coast Conference Coach of the Year, 42-2 in his career against Pepperdine. And again, Gonzaga has beaten the Waves 38 straight times.
Well, you talk about being the hunter versus the hunted. For Mark Few, he's been the hunted for about as long as he can remember. Everyone gunning for him every year.
The drive and bucket for Skylar Chavez for Pepperdine. Ryan Woolridge has it knocked away, picked up by Cameron Edwards. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Colby Ross, second in the West Coast Conference in scoring. The kick. Kessler Edwards missing a 3, and Drew Timme clears for the Zags.
Great possession right there for Pepperdine. Finished with a good option. Solid guard out front, Colby Ross. There's another loose ball, but they're going to get whistled for a foul here.
And a reach-in against Skylar Chavez of Pepperdine. And the first whistled against the Waves. Lorenzo Romar, his second season back at Pepperdine, was the head man here for 3 years in the late 90s, then had 15-year run after his stint in St. Louis at his alma mater, Washington, where he was 3-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Lorenzo Romar has the Waves at 14-12 and 7-5 in league play coming into tonight.
You talk about one of the elite coaches in college basketball. If anyone can draw up the formula for an upset, it's Lorenzo Romar.
Stepping out, and the long two will not go for Philip Petrusev. And it's cleared by Pepperdine. Long pass ahead for Cedric Altman, who backs it out. Open three, Kessler-Edwards. Rims out and the rebound. Petrusev and a foul on Cedric Altman of Pepperdine.
Cedric Altman, that'll be his first team second.
Second team foul on the Waves, but 38 is the magic number tonight in a number of aspects for Gonzaga. They've beaten Pepperdine 38 straight times. The last time Pepperdine beat Gonzaga was back in 2002 here. The Zags have won 16 consecutive games in Malibu. But the 38s don't end with the run over Pepperdine as a three buried by Corey Kispert.
And Kispert is probably one of the most crucial players for the Zags. His ability to get his own shot when things slow down, he usually keeps them going offensively.
44% from three this year as Pepperdine turns it over. But 38, again for Gonzaga, not just the wins over Pepperdine, but the Zags have 38 straight regular season conference wins. That's the longest active streak in the country. Gonzaga's won 50 of their last 51 West Coast Conference games.
Unbelievable when you factor in the idea that everyone sees them coming. Everyone circles that date on their schedule. And they go into a lot of hostile environments.
Corey Kispert off of the three, and the rebound tipped to Ryan Woolridge, and the Zags get a fresh 20. The last time they lost a West Coast Conference game, in regular season, I should say, is January of 2016 at St. Mary's. Now, they did lose to the Gales in the WCC championship game of the tournament last year. And a foul going for the rebound. And Tom Spitznagel with a call against Pepperdine. Lorenzo Romar can't believe it. It's the second on Cedric Altman.
Outstanding defense by Pepperdine. They contest the shot, but they're just a little bit too small. And going for the defensive rebound, well, he had to fight for his life, and the officials whistle him for the foul. But they're going to have those kind of problems all night.
Altman will sit with the two fouls as Darryl Polk Jr., the sophomore from Long Beach, comes in. And the officials are going to the monitor. Kevin Brill, Randy Richardson, Tom Spitznagel, our crew assigned by the West Coast Conference tonight, and wondering if they're looking at a possible elbow or maybe a hook and hold, now that I think about it, which we haven't seen very much of this year. It was made a point of emphasis in college basketball last season, and a hook and hold is an automatic flagrant one, but we'll see. So 38 straight regular season conference wins. Also, the Zags have 38 straight road conference wins, and they've won 50 of their last 51 on the road in league play. It's remarkable the run that Mark Few and Gonzaga have been on.
Absolutely impressive run. Like I said, they're the team that everyone guns for. Big games all the time. But right here, there you see the box out, having some trouble, and the two arms get locked up.
Is that a hook and hold?
I don't see it. I see Altman trying to fight for his life. I see the elbows connected, but neither player was trying to clamp the other one down. The origin of the hook and hold is when guys would grab a hold, pull the player into them, and then fake some contact. But right there, it just looked like two guys hooked up.
There's the explanation to what a hook and hold is. And if it is deemed a hook and hold, flagrant one or flagrant two, if it's illegal contact caused by hooking the opponent over or under the arm with a clamp to deceive officials into believing it was caused by the opponent.
And right there, I don't know that there was any deception. I just think Altman was trying his best to keep the big fella off the glass. Wasn't looking for a call, wasn't looking for a foul.
One more look at this to see what we think about it and wait for the officials to rule.
Got good technique. He's using his legs, pushing him out. There's nothing there.
That's Kevin Brill in the middle, Tom Spitznagel on the left, Randy Richardson on the right. And determining if this is a flagrant one for a hook and hold or not. And the foul on the floor was called against Cedric Altman, his second. So it is a flagrant one hook and hold against Cedric Altman, which means 2 shots for the Zags, and Gonzaga will get the basketball.
Tough call, but if you go by the letter of the law, it is what it is. But Altman doing the right thing, locking up, using his legs.
Drew Timme will shoot it. He is a 62% foul shooter, the freshman from Richardson, Texas. One more coming for Drew Timme. So flagrant 1 hook and hold. And Drew Timme misses both, but it's still a Gonzaga ball.
The ball doesn't lie, plain and simple. Played basketball all my life, ball doesn't lie.
If there's one area where Gonzaga struggles, foul shooting, they're below 70% as a team. Off the inbound, Filip Petrusev with the bucket. First points of the night for the sophomore from Serbia.
Well, he is such a talented big, great footwork, good finesse. You got to make sure if you're Pepperdine, you don't want him getting the ball that deep.
On the baseline, Cameron Edwards for Pepperdine.
And you need that shot to fall to try to draw Petrusev out. That's going to be a difficult matchup if they can knock down those 15-footers.
Knocked out of bounds by Darryl Polk Jr. Gonzaga ball. It's the Zags up 1 early on Pepperdine in Malibu. Coming up, where does the Gonzaga run over Pepperdine rank? All time in one school, dominating another. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots, now in 2 great tropical flavors. And in part by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. Where else would you want to be than Malibu, California on a Saturday night?
The place is rocking. The student section is here. This is the atmosphere you want when the number 2 Bulldogs come to town.
They were lined up to get in here hours before the tip-off, and Pepperdine trying to end a dubious run against Gonzaga. There's the all-time win streaks with one team over another. So Gonzaga over Pepperdine ranks 7th all-time in terms of one team beating another 38 straight times. A win tonight will tie them for 4th. And by the way, that UCLA Cal streak, I was a young kid at Harmon Gym in 1986 when Kevin Johnson, as a junior, ended a 52-game run that UCLA dominated Cal.
You witnessed a lot of great moments in Cal basketball.
There have been a lot of great moments in Cal basketball?
Yeah.
Colby Ross, his first points.
Nice sequence right there for the Waves. They get the turnover and the bucket.
Back the other way, Admon Gilder has it knocked out of bounds, and it belongs to Pepperdine.
Roxy, we talked about making the big plays to keep the energy level high. That's back-to-back great plays right there. You see the hustle. They converge on the ball right off the shoulder. They turn a transition opportunity into a turnover.
Skylar Chavez steps in, and the rebound secured by Filip Petrusev.
Chavez, one of those players not in the game just to give somebody a blow. He's in the game to shoot the ball.
And a travel. Gonzaga, their 3rd turnover.
Possession goes to the Wings.
Mark Few. And it's got to be hard for him on every night knowing that your opponent's gearing up for you, that you're getting the opposition's best shot. That's what Gonzaga deals with on a nightly basis.
On a nightly basis, but where Mark Few is different is he makes sure Gonzaga delivers their best shot every night.
And the rebound, Corey Kispert for the Zags. Ryan Woolridge attacking. Lost it. Racing out, Cameron Edwards.
He wanted to go for the jam, but he'll take the 2 right now. Turnovers, keeping Pepperdine in this early.
6 straight for the Waves. And Pepperdine hung with Gonzaga the first time this year. It was a game that came down to the wire.
Yeah, a back and forth game in the 70s. That's what they want to try to recreate tonight.
The Zags won the first matchup 75-70 as Philip Petrushev puts back his own miss.
And you see the damage he can do. The big fella, great footwork, great hands. He's just too big for Edwards.
And it took a late block shot from Killian Tilly to put that one away. But the Zags at the kennel. The Zags had a season worst 17 turnovers in that game as Colby Ross puts Pepperdine up 3. Ross had 24 points, 10 assists in that first matchup, but he had the unconventional triple-double. He had 10 turnovers against Gonzaga.
And I'm sure he would love to change that. And that's one of those games where you step off the court and you immediately think, wait till we get you at our place.
Colby Ross grabs the rebound. And a foul against Gonzaga.
Colby Ross is probably one of the best guards in terms of finishing late in the possession. Right here, gets a little separation, a little off-arm shove, but it's a home call. No call right there, but as the shot clock winds down, they will try to finish their offensive sets with him.
Here's your leading scorers in the West Coast Conference is Colby Ross second and Cameron Edwards third. So Pepperdine has 2 of the top 3 scorers in the conference. And there is Petrushev, who's fourth, as Colby Ross missing a 3, and Drew Timme the rebound for the Zags. Edmund Gilder. Joel Ayayi from deep. And elevating for the rebound is Victor Obioha for Pepperdine. A crossover. And it rattles out from Daryl Polk, but hustling. It's loose. And here comes Petrushev for Gonzaga. The spin move, Philip Petrushev.
Wow. A big man in traffic with the spin move. What can't he do? He's got the high post jumper, can play with his back to the basket, and then you see the ball handling clinic he just put on.
And a bump out top, Drew Timme called for his first.
Normally,
what a move though by Petrushev.
Yeah, you got a big man staring down a guard, but he hits him with the spin, finishes in traffic, little contact, could have been an and one. That's big time right there by Petrushev.
So an early appearance for Gonzaga and Martynas Arlauskas as the freshman from Lithuania is in. As the lob, and unable to finish was Ohia Obioha, and a jump ball arrow goes to Gonzaga. And with Arlauskas coming in, Corey, it leads me to believe that Mark Few will not have Killian Tilly tonight.
No, and I think, seeing him over there in sweats, he wasn't dressed out. Wasn't going to play, but
he did go through warm-ups.
A little bit of gamesmanship, make teams prepare for what could happen. But the Zags are definitely deep enough and talented enough to have success until he's ready to get back.
Petrushev and 1. He has taken 9 of Gonzaga's 14 shots from the floor, and they'll have a chance for an and 1.
Got the big man in the paint, unstoppable. Petrushev with the hoop and the harm, keeping the Zags rolling.
Number 2 Gonzaga up 1 at Pepperdine. Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy, and the Waves are looking for their first victory over a ranked team since 2004 and have some momentum thanks to Colby Ross's game winner here against San Diego Thursday night.
And this is why you want to try to keep it close against the Zags, because you have this weapon right here. Colby Ross, big time shot, a finisher. Want to recreate a little of that magic here tonight.
He's played the second most minutes in the country this season. And there is Colby Ross, his West Coast Conference ranks. He's already the all-time assist leader in Pepperdine history. And he's 7th in Pepperdine history in scoring.
What impresses me is the amount of minutes that he plays, and he gets to the free throw line, which lets you know he attacks and he's physical.
Philip Petrushev now with 9 as he gets the and 1 free throw, and it's the Zags up 2. So 9 of Gonzaga's 14 have come from Petrushev tonight. Keith Smith in the game, the transfer from Oregon for Pepperdine. Backdoor the layup, Colby Ross.
That's a little Lorenzo Romar magic right there. A set play. It looked natural, but that was set up from jump. The backdoor cut, beautiful execution.
Pepperdine's won 3 of their last 4 coming in. Now the Zags have the 3rd longest winning streak in college basketball. They've won 17 in a row. Only San Diego State and Baylor have longer win streaks. As the shot challenged by Corey Kispert, here come the Zags, and Admon Gilder ahead. Corey Kispert, 3.
Boy, he is such a special player. At one end, he keeps his hands up. Great defensive play, and then drills a 3.
Second 3 for Kispert. Tough fadeaway from Colby Ross. 8 for Ross. Again, it's Petrushev on the block. And no answer from Pepperdine.
And I think right now they're content to play him straight up as it's just a 3-point game. You know, if he goes for 40, that's okay, because 40 is not going to be enough to win this game. I don't know that they're going to change their strategy.
The problem is, as we talked about, Gonzaga has 7 guys, well, including Tilly, who's probably not playing tonight, averaging in double figures, so they can make you pay for the double team. Is Colby Ross now at 10.
And the Zags are playing smart. They're going to what works. They're playing inside, taking everything to the rim.
Loose ball. Out of bounds. Pepperdine ball.
And they may want to take a look at this as Mark Few is not happy at all. Actually, they won't be able to. Loose ball tipped. Bodies on the floor. And there you see.
You think Mark Few has a gripe?
I think he has a legit concern. I'll put it that way.
Baseline and the crash. They call the block on Drew Timme. Second foul on Timme, and Pepperdine will head to the line as the Waves are the top foul shooting team in the country.
They're a little undersized, but the Edwards twins are so quick. The question is, can they finish? And right there, he's rewarded with the block, but the blow-by is what's impressive. They can shoot the 3, and they can attack the rim.
Kessler Edwards, 77% from the line. As Pepperdine as a club, 80% on the year. So Timme will sit with the 2 fouls, and again, Mark Few a little bit shorthanded tonight. Here's that Killian Tilly is not available as Pepperdine reclaims the lead.
And the Zags are dominating the paint, but importantly for the Waves, neither of the Edwards has 1 foul yet.
Filip Petrushev, and the rebound, Victor Obioha for Pepperdine.
And you see Pepperdine continuing to play straight up in the post.
Kessler Edwards, and the rebound, Joel Ayayi for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Pushing it up the floor, and a foul on Colby Ross, and that will send Admon Gilder to the line for Gonzaga.
Little mental breakdown right there by Ross. He lost track of his man and got burned on a cut. You can't watch the ball with this Gonzaga team. They are too skilled. They pass the ball about as good as anybody in the country.
Gilder averages 11 points per game despite coming off the bench. He's been in double figures in 9 of the last 10. And he's on the scoreboard tonight, the grad transfer from Texas A&M. Tied at 20. And now Gonzaga seesaws back in front. Cedric Altman back in the game for Lorenzo Romar with the 2 fouls. It's been a 2-man show tonight. Petrushev has 11 of Gonzaga's 21. Colby Ross has 10 of Pepperdine's 20. And the rebound, Joel Ayayi lost it and then tracks it down.
Two good offensive possessions for the Waves, came up empty.
Again, count it, +1, Filip Petrusev.
Number 4 for the Waves. Colby Ross, that'll be his second.
Second foul on Colby Ross, and that's a problem for Pepperdine.
Great ball movement. You talk about the way they find each other, the assists, what makes them difficult. Petrusev with the finish in the paint. He is just too much for Pepperdine right now.
For Lorenzo Romar, now that Colby Ross, Corey, has 2 fouls, how do you handle the final 8:25 of the first half with Ross?
You got to go ball screens. You got to get the Edwards involved in ball screens and try to create something. Colby Ross is the player that can create it on his own. With him out of the game, go to your motion offense, go to your ball screens, try to create some action that way.
How long do you sit Colby Ross?
As long as it's less than 5 or 6, you don't want it to get away from you, but as long as you can stay within striking distance, you rest your point guard.
Corey Kispert, long outlet pass ahead as Petrusev runs the floor, and he gets hacked from behind by Cameron Edwards. How about 6'11", 235, Filip Petrusev running the floor?
Running the court, 2 defensive breakdowns for the Waves right here. They lose track of them, and they had to commit the hard foul. Nothing's free here in the WCC.
And the latest bracketology from Joey Brackets, Joe Lunardi. 3 West Coast Conference teams firmly in the field. How about 6 for the Pac-12?
Up here for the Pac-12 Conference of Champions.
No, that's the guy who's at UCLA tonight saying you're stealing his material.
I have to.
Unless you want to eat peanut butter off a television camera.
I will pass on the peanut butter.
All right. But Mark Few, I don't think he's sweating out Selection Sunday. As, of course, the Zags on the 1 line right now. Filip Petrusev at the line for Gonzaga, now 3 for 3 at the stripe. 15 of Gonzaga's 25 is Colby Ross sitting with the 2 fouls. A monster first half continues for Filip Petrusev.
Very important time for Pepperdine to try to manufacture some offense with Ross on the bench. Keep this crowd into the game.
Skylar Chavez had a good look at a 3, and the rebound Joel Ayayi as the Zags on a 7-0 run.
And you see what the Zags do. They press after free throws and fall back into their zone, and they've been able to get stops out of that zone.
Filip Petrusev again.
That's what we call a mouse in the house. And right now, the strategy for Pepperdine, they're going to continue to play that straight up because they know the 3-point shots of the Zags would bury them.
If they keep that up, Petrusev's going for 50.
Well, he's got 13 shot attempts already, and it just seems like one of those situations where they're not going to change because this is the way they want to attack.
Cedric Altman with his first points of the night. He had a career-high 14 here Thursday against San Diego. And the rebound controlled by Kessler Edwards. Here come the Waves. Skylar Chavez missing a transition 3, and Corey Kispert the rebound. Kispert already has 4 assists, by the way. Petrusev with 18 of the Zags' 28. Admin Gilder can't get the floater, and the rebound. Darryl Polk Jr. Here comes Pepperdine.
Polk Jr. in there battling for the defensive boards.
And Cedric Altman will head to the stripe.
It's going to be against number 1, Gilder. That'll be his first, team 4th.
And the foul on
At the line for the Waves.
Gonzaga will put Cedric Altman at the line, a 74% foul shooter. And by Pepperdine standards, he's struggling from the line. Freshman from Rialto. Our next Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app. Purdue and Wisconsin in a Big Ten battle. The teams trying to stay off the bubble. 7 Eastern. Then we head to the SEC. Coach Cal. And number 12, Kentucky, square off against number 25, LSU, in a sonic blockbuster.
That'll be his first.
It's in Baton Rouge Tuesday night. Super Tuesday on ESPN and the ESPN app. See the news that Sharif O'Neal, who left UCLA, is committed to go to follow in Dad's footsteps and head to LSU.
Like father, like son, LSU pulled out a close one in Tuscaloosa today.
5-point lead for Gonzaga. And the layup for Admon Gilder.
And that's probably been one of the easiest buckets the Zags have had. Just a good one-on-one, nobody home. You know, Pepperdine doesn't really have a legit rim protector, shot blocker type player out there.
Ball knocked away. Gilder races to the bucket and he's fouled. And Admon Gilder will get to the line as the Zags up 7, trying to add to their lead here.
A lot of these offensive struggles have taken place since Ross has gone to the bench. And, you know, you mentioned earlier, how long can Lorenzo Romar afford to sit his starting point guard? Zags are just too good. They make too many opportunities for themselves to score.
How soon do you look to get him back in?
It's a 7-point game. At this point, if he's not coming in, I think he may have made the decision to wait until the second half. But you certainly don't want this to get...
I don't think Pepperdine can afford to do that.
No, they can't. I was just thinking, you don't want this to get to 10 or 11 points because the crowd, the energy, it's still there, and you're still within striking distance if you're Pepperdine.
Gilder 3 for 3 from the line. Now perfect 4 for 4. He has 6 off the bench, and it's the largest lead for Gonzaga.
Here comes the press, followed by the zone.
Keith Smith looks to attack. Cameron Edwards, the first 3. No, it's a long 2. They're saying he was on the line. Cameron Edwards, the deep 2. Pepperdine's 0 for 7 from 3. On the shot clock for Gilder. Filip Petrusev off balance. And a foul. We're going the other way. It's on Gonzaga. It's on Martinez Arlauskas of Gonzaga, his first. 32-25 Gonzaga. Just over 5 minutes left in the first half here in Malibu. It's Mark Few and Gonzaga, 38 consecutive wins over Pepperdine. Another crazy stat. That the last time Gonzaga lost to a team in the West Coast Conference other than St. Mary's or BYU, tough fadeaway from Keith Smith, the rebound controlled by the Zags. You have to go back to February of 2014. Second foul, offensive foul on Joel Ayayi. But you have to go back to February of 2014, the last time Mark Few and Gonzaga lost to somebody in league play other than BYU or St. Mary's. That was at San Diego.
A long time ago. You talk about
87 straight wins.
Solid program, consistency. You look at stats like that.
Cameron Edwards. Back to a 5-point game. Spins out for Admon Gilder on a 3. Pepperdine pushes 3-on-1. Keith Smith. First points for the Oregon transfer. And it's a 1-possession game.
The big plays, the energy, the crowd in transition. Pepperdine comes to life.
Admon Gilder lost it. Pepperdine controls. 6 straight for the Waves.
And this is what you call house money. Your starting point guard's on the bench with 2 fouls, and you claw your way right back into the game.
Pepperdine ball, the Waves fighting their way back in as they're crashing on the shore here in Malibu.
Sometimes you got to do it for yourself. Little transition offense on the break. The nice penetration, beautiful no look. The Waves on a roll. Gonzaga by 3.
right, Allison, 32-29. Number 2 Gonzaga leading Pepperdine. Sunday, our XFL game comes to you from just down the road. LA and Nelson Spruce, the former Colorado Buffalo. 11 catches, 103 yards in week 1 for the LA Wildcats against the Dallas Renegades. 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app. I'm just waiting for them to bring back the San Francisco Demons. As a former radio voice of the San Francisco Demons, I might add. In the initial installment of the XFL. Without Colby Ross sitting with the 2 fouls, Pepperdine within 3. 5 on the shot clock. Cameron Edwards rattles out. Filip Petrushev clears the rebound for the Zags.
So many of those shots for him, in and out. He's had good looks. They haven't dropped. You got to stay aggressive.
Corey Kispert open. Missing a 3, and the rebound, Darryl Polk Jr. for Pepperdine.
Boy, they really rolled the dice there and gave Kispert an open look. Normally, they don't double off the bigs.
Well, they had to because Petrushev was just having his way.
Oh, that was a bucket for him. As you see him
now
in
a steal.
Passing lane in the steal.
To the bucket. And the follow from Darryl Polk Jr. 1-point game. 8-0 run for Pepperdine.
Petrushev is everywhere. He's back on D. He's in the paint. Kind of motion to his guys like, hey, somebody help me out.
And now Colby Ross getting set to check in for Pepperdine. Petrushev with 20.
He is a walking bucket right there. And they're going to keep playing him straight up, and he's going to keep delivering.
Already his 9th 20-point game of the season. And we're not even at halftime yet. The pull-up from Cedric Altman.
Not the best defense against the ball screen right there from the Zags. They're normally a little more aggressive on that.
Admon Gilder off balance. And a foul will put Arlauskas at the line for Gonzaga. The foul's on Keith Smith, his first. And Martinez Arlauskas will head to the line. He's a 64% foul shooter. He's played now in 21 of the 27 games for Gonzaga in each of the last 10. One more coming for Arlauskas. As Colby Ross coming back in for Lorenzo Romar. But Arlauskas, his dad, Mindaugas, played with Arvydas Sabonis in the late 80s on the national team for Lithuania.
Sabonis, one of the most famous basketball players in the world. He was just finishing up his career when I was in Europe, and I met hundreds of guys that had played with him throughout his career, and he just made everybody better.
Of course, Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis, the former Zag, now an NBA All-Star. Son of Arvydas Sabonis, Cameron Edwards hits a 3, and Pepperdine has the lead.
He finally gets one to go. Great inside out, brother to brother.
First 3 for Pepperdine, 11 for Cameron Edwards. Corey Kispert answers for the Zags.
He is as tough as nails. Kispert making the big buckets. He's been doing that all season for Gonzaga.
30-second timeout for Mark Few as Kispert puts Gonzaga right back in front. With Corey Williams in Malibu, Roxy Bernstein with you. Late first half, number 2 Gonzaga getting a strong test from Pepperdine tonight. And for the Waves, they finally hit from long range.
Great offense right here. Brother to brother, skip pass. When the ball goes inside, then it comes back outside. It's easy pickings right there for the Waves, and that's the kind of court vision you need. He missed a few early in the game, but you saw no hesitation. You're on your home floor. Go ahead and let it fly.
Our first half has featured 4 ties and 8 lead changes. And it's the Zags up 2 right now. Colby Ross with his 2 fouls. Sat for a good chunk of this first half, missing the floater. Woolridge attacking, got by Ross and scores. They went right at him knowing he had to back off with the 2 fouls.
Extremely smart play, but you'd expect nothing less out of the Zags. They know who's in foul trouble and who's not.
First points for Ryan Woolridge.
Very aggressive play right there.
And you know that's something Mark Few stressed during that timeout.
No doubt about it.
Here's Ross, 5 on the shot clock. Colby Ross in trouble in the corner, tough fadeaway. And the rebound, not free, loose, Pepperdine has it. And they can't get a shot off, and at halftime, it's number 2 Gonzaga up 40-36 on Pepperdine.
And right now for the Waves, part 1 is done. You played solid defense, you've got a 4-point game at the half. Can they keep it going in the second half?
Zags by 4 here in Malibu. After the break, Allison Williams, Dallin Cubb, Chris Patola in studio for the Jeep halftime report. Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy in Malibu. Getting ready to start the second half. Some West Coast Conference hoops. Number 2 Gonzaga getting all they can handle from Pepperdine. A 4-point lead for the Zags. Along with Corey Williams, Roxy Bernstein with you. And that was a fun first half. It got back and forth, and Pepperdine hanging with the number 2 Zags.
Well, you see what the strategy is for Pepperdine early. Give up the interior play. Don't deliver the 3-pointers. Make sure they guard everybody. And for a team that has 7 players averaging double figures, they've only got 1 guy in double figures, and that's the big fella.
Yeah, but he had enough for about a whole army in that first half. He had 20 in the first half. Filip Petrusev. Gonzaga had really their way inside, and Petrusev, Pepperdine had no answer for him.
Well, they're a team that keeps it simple, and when you have a guy like this playing so well, you keep the ball in his hands. He's not receiving a double team. They see a little traffic, but he's been highly efficient. Layups, jump hooks in the crowd. They're going to ride Petrusev the entire game until the game plan changes.
He took 15 shots from the floor in the first half. On the other side, Colby Ross got in some foul trouble. He didn't have an assist in the first half, but 10 points.
Colby Ross is one of those guys that can score any way you want it. He can shoot in transition, in the half court. He's great out of ball screens. He's got the floater. He's got everything, the total package. The key was to get him through the first half, so he'd be available for you right now.
There's the numbers for the leading scorers, Petrusev and Ross, for the Zags and Pepperdine. And keep in mind, Colby Ross dealt with foul trouble in that first half and didn't play for a good chunk of it. And then Pepperdine got down 9, but they made a run to get back into the game and within arm's distance of Gonzaga when Ross was on the bench.
That was huge for them. The turnovers, the transition. We talked about the plays, and there you see right off the start, Colby Ross making a statement.
There's the first half stats. Colby Ross now with 12. Pepperdine made just 1 3 in the first half. And Gonzaga, again, it appears they're without Killian Tilly tonight. He is in uniform. Went through warm-ups, but we haven't seen him. And on the drive, tie game, Cameron Edwards.
A quick 4 points to start the second half. I can't stress, and I know I've said it a couple of times, how important it is to keep this crowd and this energy. There you see the big block. Plays like this give the team life against the number 2 Zags. This is great second line defense. You just stand straight up, do your job. I'll come over the top and make the block.
Killian Tilly, that ongoing ankle is giving him trouble. And it was a game-time decision if Mark Few was going to have him available tonight. It does not appear he's good to go for Gonzaga in this one. Rebound tipped out of bounds. It stays with Pepperdine. There is Killian Tilly, who played very well against St. Mary's last Saturday. Up in Moraga, went for 20 points. Or rather 19 points for Tilly in that game against St. Mary's, where Gonzaga shot a season-high 68% from the floor.
And I think without a doubt, the strategy changes for Pepperdine. If Tilly's on the floor, you can't go man-to-man on both of those guys because they're just too explosive from the paint.
A little bit of a letdown for Gonzaga, Corey, coming off that great performance against St. Mary's last week.
A little bit, But if you notice the calm of the Zags, they've been here before. As you mentioned, they get everyone's best shot. So the adrenaline is worn off. It's now time to play 20 minutes of basketball. We'll get down to it for Gonzaga. They've got that confidence. They've won games like this before.
And that's the thing, as you alluded to, you get the best shot every night. Mark Few and Gonzaga, this program has earned that with the success they've had over the years. Their 13th straight season with 25 or more wins. Stripped from Ryan Woolridge, hustling for it, Cameron Edwards, and Pepperdine comes away with it. But that's the game on the calendar, especially at home. Everybody is circling when they get Gonzaga in their gym. Their fans show up, the building is packed every time the Zags come to town. And they know the other team is fired up for the game, and they're going to get the other squad's best shot when they come to town.
No question about it. It shouldn't be that way, but players rise to the level of competition sometimes, and that's what you're seeing. A great 20 minutes of play from Pepperdine, and here we are in the second half, and we got a tie ball game.
2 minutes into the second half, Gonzaga is still looking to get on the board. Filip Petrushev is fouled and will get to the line. And the foul is on Cameron Edwards, his second. 2 shots for Petrushev, who's 4 for 4 from the line. Filip Petrushev. The only Zag in double figures, missing the first. Our next Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN this Tuesday and the ESPN app. Purdue, Wisconsin. In a Big Ten battle, teams trying to stay off the bubble at 7 Eastern. And then we head to the SEC. Number 12, Kentucky. And 25th ranked LSU in Baton Rouge. In a big matchup between those two ranked teams in the SEC. Sonic Blockbuster coming your way. Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app. Colby Ross stepped on the end line in a Pepperdine turnover. Just the 4th turnover for Pepperdine tonight.
And that's impressive given the amount of time that Colby Ross was on the bench.
Over the top, Drew Timme lays it in. And a pretty pass from Petrushev. Filip Petrushev, such a skilled big man.
Great passer. We talk about good hands, footwork, all of that.
Cedric Altman ties the game.
This is what you want if you're Pepperdine. Offensive productivity from a lot of different sources.
Just a 23% three-point shooter on the year.
But it's the number 2 Gonzaga Bulldogs coming in here to see that heightened level of ability.
3rd foul on Cedric Altman.
This is what makes Gonzaga so hard. They play basketball based on where the ball needs to be. They know the high-low. They have these great instincts, and that's what makes them difficult. And at the other end, this is just KYP. Know your personnel. Spot-up shot from the corner. 3-ball good. We got a tie game here. The seesaw battle. Can the Pepperdine Waves match the offense of the Zags down the stretch?
Shot clock inside 10. Out of the double team, Drew Timme hits a cutting Petrushev. And the block from Kessler Edwards.
The big plays, the momentum plays are what they're making.
Cameron Edwards the miss. But his younger brother Kessler blocked a shot at Petrushev, is the best shot blocker in the West Coast Conference. And Petrushev comes up hobbling a bit.
2 outstanding defensive plays against Petrushev.
And a foul.
Now
Drew Timme, his 3rd.
Roxy, this is another great high-low where they pass the ball to the cutter and he just goes up, but an even better play by Edwards when he glasses it. And at the other end, they're just getting down, quick hands on the way up, gets the steal again. If you can't beat him, block him. And you wonder, Petrushev played all but 8 seconds of the first half. Will fatigue be an issue? Right now, he's the anchor for the Zags offense.
Colby Ross swatted by Filip Petrusev. Gonzaga ball.
That's 2 turnovers right there by Colby Ross. He's in for the second half, but he's got to do a little bit better than that.
Tied at 43, number 2 Gonzaga. Getting a battle from Pepperdine in Malibu.
Welcome to the court, Donna.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Ford versus Ferrari. Bring home this year's Best Picture nominee today on digital 4K and Blu-ray. You didn't hit the surf today, did you?
I didn't get a chance to get out there.
Would you have gone out there?
No, I would not have gotten out there.
Tied at 43, number 2 Gonzaga and Pepperdine. And we told you 38 is the magic number tonight. 38 straight wins for Pepperdine, or 38 straight wins for Gonzaga over Pepperdine. Well, Pepperdine in danger of their 38th consecutive loss to a ranked opponent. The last time they beat a ranked foe was right here in November of 2004. They knocked off number 20, Wisconsin. But 38 straight regular season conference road victories for Gonzaga. 38 straight regular season conference wins for Gonzaga. And as we told you, 38 straight wins over Pepperdine, which is the 7th longest streak in the history of college basketball, one team over another.
And what makes that so impressive is it's during an era of college basketball where there's so much talent swing from year to year. To maintain a consistent stat like that, everybody has up and down years. You could be in the Final Four one year and miss the tournament the next.
Corey Kispert hits his 4th three, and Gonzaga reclaims the lead.
Every time the Waves get in there, the Zags make 2 plays in a row right here.
Joel Ayayi, the steal and bucket. You look up, and it's Gonzaga by 5.
And Roxy, that's the thing about great teams. Great teams find a way to win on nights where they probably don't deserve to. And I know the Zags wanted to play better in the first half, but they're a team that knows how to close out games.
Joel Ayayi lost it. Here comes Daryl Polk for Pepperdine. The finish, Cameron Edwards with 15.
Right now, turnovers, keeping the Waves in this game. The ability to run in transition when the offense stalls in the half court.
Admon Gilder, 3. Largest lead of the second half is the Zags, led by as many as 9 in the first half. Falls off for Cameron Edwards. Here comes Gonzaga. Corey Kispert attacks. The reverse. Pops out for Kispert. Petrusev can't get the follow. One more chance for Filip Petrusev. Again it's Petrusev. And a tie-up. Arrow Gonzaga.
Boy, Petrusev is a man among boys right now in the paint. Second and third and even fourth efforts right here. The good take. Kispert, you got orange shirts all around, but Petrusev just taking the ball, ripping it away from players. And you see his energy level has not gone down. He's played almost every second of this game.
And he knows that Mark Few needs him to be out there as much as possible tonight in the absence of Killian Tillich.
And that's a great thing for a coach to have a player who knows he needs to answer the call. You don't have to go to him and ask. He just shows up and goes to work.
Does it help him? They're only playing 1 game this week. Skipping across the key, Petrusev, and 1.
Now the crowd wants to travel, but they're mistaken. This is great footwork by Petrusev as he gets so much attention. He's able to take the ball, tuck it, rip it through off the glass. Easy money for the big fella.
Second foul and Victor Ohia Obioha of Pepperdine. Filip Petrusev, 5 for 6 to the line, 23 points, 10 rebounds now. Double-doubles for Petrusev in 3 of the last 4 games. His 8th double-double overall on the season. And the rebound, Admon Gilder.
Pepperdine missing some good looks.
Joel Ayayi, 3.
And the Zags putting that offensive pressure on. I think Lorenzo Romar is going to want to sit down and talk this over as that explosive offense has shown up.
8 straight for Gonzaga, a 13-2 run. It was 45 all. It's now an 11-point lead for the Zags.
Right here, you're going to see in transition, no hand up, that's an easy bucket. Zags jumping out in front.
Zag students, or the Pepperdine students rather, trying to keep the energy up in Firestone Fieldhouse with Gonzaga on a 13-2 run to go up 11. Filip Petrusev now 23 points, 10 rebounds tonight. He had 20 at the half, but it's been a balanced attack during this 13-2 run. It's not just Petrusev, everybody else getting into the act.
And that's what they've been waiting on. They know what he can do. They've made an effort to get other guys involved. Beautiful execution out of the timeout. Lorenzo Romar drawing up a little masterpiece right there for an easy 2. But the question is, can the Waves get back to that defense that was causing those turnovers and get some transition buckets?
Keith Smith for the Waves cuts it to 9. Drop step, and Petrusev will head to the line. Third foul on Victor Obioha of Pepperdine.
That'll be his 3rd.
Petrusev 5 for 7 from the stripe.
At the line for the Bulldogs.
And he'll head back there for the Zags. A couple of key games coming up for Gonzaga this week. They're hosting USF Thursday night before heading to Provo and BYU next Saturday. Mark Few worried about tonight first, then he'll turn his attention to the Dons. And Mark Pope has BYU playing really well.
Mark Pope has done an outstanding job with the Cougars at BYU. You know, talk about this being a 3-bid league and a lot of changes, a lot of teams playing well. St. Mary's obviously doing what they do. And then
I got to give props to your former teammate.
Absolutely.
When Damon Stoudemire, even though they lost at St. Mary's tonight, but 20 wins for Pacific, Damon Stoudemire is doing a tremendous job with the Tigers.
Doing a great job with them. Got them rocking and rolling over there in Pacific. Got my vote for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, but you're biased.
Well, you can give it to Mark Few every year, but
he's won it 13 times.
To do what they've been able to do, given the situation he's inherited at Pacific, remarkable job.
And Damon has his full complement of scholarships now for the first time since he's been the head coach at UOP.
College coaches know how important that is to be able to field a full team and recruit the way you need to.
And Jaleel Tripp, one of the more exciting players in college basketball for Pacific.
Physical player with a great motor.
Speaking of exciting players, but Colby Ross missing everything.
Colby Ross trying to force things a little.
Missed 3 from Ayayi, but a foul going for the rebound. And it's on Pepperdine. The Zags up 8 on the road, looking for win number 18 in a row. Number 2 Gonzaga up 8 at Pepperdine. 11:56 to go is Gonzaga trying to run the table in the West Coast Conference. They're 11-0 in league play coming into tonight. And we were talking about it before. What's looming for the Zags coming up this week? And the schedule for Mark Few here heading into Vegas and the West Coast Conference tournament. So USF at home Thursday. Then their toughest challenge is going to be at BYU next Saturday before they finish with 2 home games against San Diego and then St. Mary's before heading to Las Vegas.
Yeah, you can see those percentages increase when they're in the friendly confines of the kennel. That madhouse is something else. One of the greatest atmospheres in college basketball. So tough to get a win there.
Deep 3 from Joel Ayayi, well short. Here comes Pepperdine and Daryl Polk.
Right now, the Zags have snatched back the momentum of this game, made some plays, created a little breathing room in terms of the score. It's time for Pepperdine to try to answer.
Colby Ross off on the 3. As Filip Petrusev, speaking of breather, is now at the table, getting set to return for Mark Few. Joel Ayayi on the baseline, the reverse. They were going to call goaltending, didn't matter, ball went through anyways. And it's a 10-point game with just over 11 minutes to go.
Great vision right there by Woolridge. Finds the cutter. Ball hits the backboard first. Edwards just a step late, but for Pacific, the problem is right now, they're collapsing at both ends. The defensive breakdowns and then the air balls and the turnovers here on the offensive end. The Zags, you have to match them play for play, otherwise you don't stand a chance.
Kessler Edwards. And he missed everything inside. And another good sign for Gonzaga. 15 assists on 21 field goals. As Drew Timme missing at the rim.
We talked about how important ball positioning is to them.
16 for Colby Ross.
The Zags are fun to watch because they don't care who has the ball isn't important. They all play based on where the ball needs to be. They get it in the best position, they pass unselfishly, and that's why you see 7 guys in double figures.
Joel Ayayi having a strong second half. As Ayayi with 9 all since halftime.
Petrusev may have went in at halftime and asked for some help. And he's getting it here in the second half.
Cameron Edwards missing a 3 in the rebound. Ryan Woolridge and the Bulldogs. Woolridge trying to go coast to coast. Throws it up and it goes in. Largest lead of the night for Gonzaga as Ryan Woolridge puts the Zags up 12 with 9:51 to go and a timeout taken.
The Zags applying pressure full court, taking it coast to coast. Woolridge calls his own number with the fadeaway. Beautiful shot. We talk about that high-powered offense, and there you see it.
Gonzaga is the highest scoring team in the country. They average 88.5 a game. As Gonzaga also second in the country in field goal percentage. 52% on the season, just 48% tonight. Gonzaga 7th in three-point shooting on the year, 39% outside the arc. Tonight, they're 50%, 6 for 12 from downtown. There's where they rank in the country, a lot of the offensive stats.
It is so impressive when you look at them ranking first. That's because of the ball movement. That's because they stick to the script. They have good bigs, good guards. Nobody goes off script and plays one-on-one. They play for the team, and when you have that atmosphere, you're going to post statistics like that.
Delay of game warning, by the way, was given to Pepperdine as they were too late coming out of the timeout. Another factor in why Pepperdine is falling behind by 12. They're just 2 for 15 from 3 tonight. And a foul on Gonzaga, and it's Joel Ayayi, number 3.
And what was interesting to me was after that transition bucket by the Zags, Mark Few called that timeout because he saw something he didn't like. And a lot of people would say, we got the momentum, let the guys keep playing, but he's looking at the big picture for this team. This is a team that has national championship aspirations, and every detail matters to him. So he'll coach regardless of the momentum.
Kessler Edwards, and 1. Strong finish by Kessler Edwards.
Edwards alone in the one-on-one. You want to sell the move to the middle. Look at that beautiful drop step, little contact as he's able to take the smaller player right to the rim.
First on Admon Gilder. Edwards 2 for 2 from the line, 77% on the year. As Pepperdine, the #1 foul shooting team in America, 80% as a squad. And Kessler Edwards makes it a 9-point game. But Pepperdine's only shot 5 free throws tonight. They're 4 for 5. Drew Timme for Gonzaga.
Now you see the Zags just getting everything they want, from wide open shots to rolling players to the rim.
Kessler Edwards, a 3. He's a 43% three-point shooter. And just a third 3 for Pepperdine tonight. Ryan Woolridge got it back, scoops it in. Right now, Pepperdine having a tough time getting stops.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The offense has kind of come alive for Gonzaga. They've been able to score at will, and it hasn't just been the big fella in the paint, they've been able to get production from the guard position.
Cameron Edwards fouled by Gilder.
Foul on the shot against the Bulldogs. Number 1.
Cameron Edwards will head to the line.
At the line for the Waves, number 20, Cam Edwards.
Gonzaga 67, Pepperdine 57. A senior from Rancho Cucamonga here in Southern California. And one more coming for Cameron Edwards. Double figures now with his 15th tonight in 24 consecutive games. And Gilder will get a breather for the Zags. Gonzaga 11 for 19 from the floor here in the second half. Inside 10 on the shot clock. Drew Timme off balance. And the rebound and a whistle and a foul underneath. As Skylar Chavez clutching his ankle after bodies went crashing. Foul against Pepperdine. It's the Zags by 9 in Malibu. Number 2 Gonzaga up 9 at Pepperdine. 7:53 to go here as we look around the West Coast Conference tonight. And BYU in a battle down in San Diego with the Slim Jim with the Toreros. 3-point game. St. Mary's knocked off Pacific in Moraga tonight. And LMU, how about Mike Dunlap and the Lions go on the road and win at Santa Clara as the teams are jockeying for position heading toward the West Coast Conference Tournament at the Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. And keep in mind, the WCC employs the double bye format. So Gonzaga and whoever finishes as the 2 seed will have the double bye into the semifinals.
That's pretty substantial.
Format.
Absolutely. You get two games off and a chance to play for the title. And it's never a foregone conclusion who's going to come out of there with the bid.
1-1 for Corey Kispert as the foul was called on Skylar Chavez before the timeout is third. Kispert 81% from the line, 13 points tonight. He's already been WCC Player of the Week once this season, and he hits both free throws and his first points that have come inside the arc tonight.
And I've said it before, I think he's the key player for this team in terms of timely buckets and creating opportunities, keeping things going.
Colby Ross will get to the line. Foul is on Philip Petrushev, his first.
That'll be his first.
Colby Ross, who leads the WCC, 87% from the foul line. 2 for Ross. Our next Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app. Purdue and Wisconsin, a battle of Big Ten teams trying to stay off the bubble at 7 Eastern. Then we head to the SEC, Kentucky, and LSU in a Sonic blockbuster at 9 Eastern. Super Tuesday on ESPN and the ESPN app. And a couple of top 25 teams, Kentucky, LSU going at it, the Maravich Center in Baton Rouge. Kentucky's won 6 of the last 8 from LSU. Drew Timme is clobbered, will get to the line.
On the Waves.
You see the recipe for the Zags, inside out. They're going to continue to post up and look for those opportunities. And Pepperdine, you know, came into this game at a height disadvantage and were playing well and kind of covering that up in the first half. But here in the second half, starting to get exposed a little bit in the paint.
Drew Timme now 1 for 3 at the line. Got the start in place of Killian Tilly tonight. Third foul on Cameron Edwards. You just feel for Killian Tilly. Just one injury after the next, and the ankle, which has troubled him on and off the majority of this season. And he missed a lot of last year because of an injury.
And at this point, a lot of coaches will tell you, as much as you're concerned with his physical health, you start to wonder about mentally how tough that is for a player to keep coming back and having things happen over and over.
Stays with Gonzaga. Last touch by Pepperdine. As Petrushev tried to hustle down the floor and get a easy bucket. Zags by 8. Rims out for Ryan Woolridge, and Pepperdine controls.
Solid defensive possession right there for the Waves. See if they can capitalize.
Again, a mismatch is Petrushev guarding Colby Ross. Cedric Altman darts in. The pull-up rattles out in the rebound. Ryan Woolridge headmans. Again, Petrushev leaking out, but then misses the layup. Corey Kispert takes it away. He blows the layup. And then Petrushev will get to the line.
A ton of no calls on that sequence.
4th on Cedric Altman.
It all starts here. Petrushev felt like there was contact, and then here you see the tomahawk, and then there's a foul there that doesn't get called, and finally, on that third effort, Petrushev goes to the line, but man, bodies flying all around, guys hacking and reaching.
25 points. 12 rebounds now for Filip Petrushev, who is 7 for 10 at the line. Lorenzo Romar keeping Cedric Altman on the floor with 6:27 to go. And Altman with 4 fouls now. Zags push it back to a double-digit lead, and Petrushev gets a breather.
And right now, it's an optimum time to get him on the bench. Like you said, 10-point lead, 6 minutes to go in the game. Get him some rest because you know you want to close with him.
Colby Ross lost it in the lane. Drew Timme runs the floor. 10 for Timme.
The Gonzaga section of the arena is now loud and boisterous here.
Zags have tied their largest lead as Ryan Woolridge knocked it away. And a travel on Keith Smith.
Right here, Ross in the lane, loses the ball before the contact, so there's no call, and it leads to the easy transition bucket for the Zags. The bounce pass and the jam.
So it's a 12-point game for Gonzaga. As it seems, Corey, that Gonzaga's cranked it up a little bit, especially on the defensive end.
Well, we talked about how Pepperdine could somehow manufacture a win, and they would have to keep them in that 60 to 70 points. But the Zags exploded. They found their rhythm, more importantly. And then offensively, the Waves haven't done themselves any favors. They've had turnovers. They missed a ton of shots. And eventually, you knew the number 2 team in the country was going to show up. And that's what's happened here in the second half.
Again, Gonzaga has beaten Pepperdine 38 consecutive times. The last time Pepperdine beat Gonzaga was here in 2002. It's only the second time in the history of the Pepperdine program that they've hosted a team ranked in the top 2. The only previous time is they played the USF Dons, who ranked number 1 back in 1977. USF won that game by 8. And that was a USF team that had 5 NBA players on, including Bill Cartwright.
It's an amazing team right there. You talk about getting up for a game. Number 2 comes into your gym. You see the crowd. It's standing room only in here. Had a great opportunity. Played a wonderful first half.
Travel on Joel Ayayi.
And now if you're Pepperdine, you have to find a way to outplay Gonzaga by 12 over the next 5 minutes, and that is a tall order.
Going to the bucket, losing it. Cameron Edwards going up. And it stays with Pepperdine and 15 on the shot clock. So you see Edwards wearing that mask. He broke his nose back at the Wooden Legacy Thanksgiving weekend, and still wearing the mask, the protective mask, as he broke it in their second game in Anaheim against Central Florida. Count it and one, Cedric Altman.
Beautiful inbounds play. It took a while to develop. Altman flares away like he's going away from the play and then makes a great cut down the lane and finishes. He wanted to dunk that, had enough hang time to spare. They're going to need a couple more plays like this in the next 5 minutes to try to tighten this game up.
Third foul on Admon Gilder, as the old school three-point play for Cedric Altman gives him 11. He's been in double figures now. His offense has come on here late in the year for Lorenzo Romar. The freshman in double digits in 4 of the last 7 games, after he reached double figures only once in the first 20 games this season.
He's had some really nice moments this evening. Nice three-point shot, a couple finishes in the lane.
And Philip Petrushev back in for Gonzaga. 10 on the shot clock. Ryan Woolridge missing a 3. The rebound, good box out from Cameron Edwards. But then Pepperdine off a deflection. No, change it, as initially Randy Richardson said Pepperdine ball, but then he said I got it wrong and changed it back. It's a Gonzaga ball.
He assumed it was deflected, but that was just a bad outlet pass, and you really need those defensive stops. You get the Zags to miss a perimeter jumper in crunch time, you're able to get the rebound, and then they make you pay on the second effort.
5 threes for Corey Kispert. And it's back to a 12-point game. Cameron Edwards missing the 3, cleared by the Zags. Here's Woolridge, who really has done a tremendous job for Gonzaga this year. Talked with Mark Few earlier today. He has been so pleased with what Ryan Woolridge has given this team, and a foul against Pepperdine. Second on Keith Smith, but Corey Kispert from long range, he's come up big tonight for the Zags.
We've said it all night. He's the man of the moment for the Zags. Makes it happen, and right here, the second possession from NBA range, nothing but net. Zags up 12.
Check the standings. This game is huge.
I like it. Keep hitting them.
If you ain't worthy, I take it. For greatness, man.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy Shots, now in 2 great tropical flavors. And in part by T-Mobile, the first and only nationwide 5G network is here. You like Malibu?
I really do. I really do.
What's not to like?
How could you not like that scenic view? And these kids get to go to school here.
You step out the gym, the Firestone Fieldhouse, you can see the Pacific Ocean.
Unbelievable scenery. Always excited to come up to Malibu. Great.
Corey Kispert likes it in Malibu.
He should.
He's got 5 threes tonight. He's been a huge part of this Gonzaga team stretching out the lead here against Pepperdine. It's up to 12. And the Zags headed to the line, and Petrushev has been a little bit on the quiet side in the second half, but Corey Kispert is not. 5 of 7 from 3, having a terrific all-around game, is Ryan Woolridge at the line for Gonzaga.
You know, rankings and polls aside, I believe that Gonzaga is probably the most complete team in college basketball. You talk about 7 players in double figures, solid guard play. They've got great bigs, a great coach. I don't know that there's anybody that can really say that this is a better team, that they have a better team than this one right here.
And it's impressive considering the turnover Mark Few had from a year ago.
They have a laundry list of players that go into the NBA almost yearly now. The recruiting has been awesome. He's starting to get top-level guys. ESPN top 100 players are choosing the Zags. I mean, this whole program's trajectory is just through the roof.
And a foul on the perimeter. It's on Kessler Edwards at Pepperdine, but for Mark Few, he loses Brandon Clark, he loses Rui Hachimura, he loses a fifth-year senior point guard in Josh Perkins. Zach Norvell's now in the NBA with the Warriors, and he's had to retool this team, and people like Philip Petrusev have stepped into prominent roles for Gonzaga this year. And Killian Tilly has been dealing with an injury. He's out tonight. They're also counting on Anton Watson this year, and he's out for the year with a shoulder injury.
And it's not just plug and play in terms of the players. When you watch them practice, or even like today at shoot-around, you get instantly you can tell this is a team that has a great atmosphere, camaraderie. The guys like each other. They play hard for their coach and each other. There's that extra factor that goes into building a solid program, and that's when you talk about chemistry. And that's what this team has, great chemistry.
One more for Ross. 22 now for Colby Ross. And even though they're not maybe as deep as they've been in some years, especially with the injury to Watson and not having Tilly tonight, this group just finds a way.
And that's the hardest part is, you know, when I played at Arizona, it was a program that was judged by how they finished the end of the season in the tournament. And the Zags are held to that same standard. This is a team, regardless of what they do in November, December, January, February, people are going to judge them by what they do in March. And it's hard to keep guys focused night in and night out when everyone around you is only concerned with the NCAA tournament.
So judging by the way you're talking, Corey, is Cameron Edwards missing a three. Skylar Chavez tracks down the long rebound. And a three stroked by Kessler Edwards. But the way you're talking, you think Gonzaga has enough to win it all.
There's only a few teams in college basketball that can win 6 games in a row. The Zags are definitely one of them. Don't ask me who the other ones are, because I do not want my Twitter. I don't want those problems tonight.
I'm about to go there, you know that. Joel Ayayi, the runner.
Obviously, Baylor's a good team, and I think they can win 6 in a row because they defend and they're so physical. I think they've got.
You've seen San Diego State. Where do you sit on the Aztecs?
You know, you can't deny. I mean, you can't really. Undefeated speaks for itself. They're a great team. They've got great play out front with Malachi Flynn. I think they're a team that definitely will get a good seed and can win 3 or 4 games, if not 5, in the tournament. They're just a team that I know Elite 8 for sure, I think.
Corey Kispert. And the rebound controlled by Pepperdine, and Colby Ross thought about the pull-up 3. That's where he hit the game winner from Thursday against San Diego. Across the lane, Cameron Edwards, and for San Diego State, as a timeout by Pepperdine, as you look at the Aztecs and Gonzaga right there. But for me, when I watched San Diego State this year, Corey, they're still very good defensively. Brian Dutcher, then Steve Fisher before, they were known for defensively really getting after it. But this is one of the better offensive teams, at least to me, that we've seen from San Diego State. Maybe as good an offensive team since Kawhi Leonard was there.
And that's been the difference. They've always been tough defensively, but now they've ratcheted things up on offense. So they're going to give you a tough time for the entire 40 minutes. They're going to lock you down on defense. And like I said, great guard play. They can really score. They got good bigs. They're the whole complete team.
1:35 remaining here. It's Gonzaga by 10. And here's some of the odds, at least percentages, for teams to win the national championship. San Diego State's 5%. Gonzaga is the second best percentage. This is according to the BPI, with Duke number 1. There is Gonzaga right there. Arizona, your alma mater, on the list. And Michigan State's the one I'm going. I don't know about that.
No disrespect to Sparty, but they got to show
Yes,
me
we're
more.
actually disrespecting them.
Yeah, well, they got to show me more. They shouldn't even be on that list. But Baylor, San Diego State, Dayton.
Do you think Baylor should have a higher percentage?
Absolutely. Because it's about defense. College basketball is so young. There's not a lot of experienced juniors and seniors out there because they've already gone to the NBA. So the teams that can defend are the teams that have a greater chance to win because most coaches can put together better defensive schemes than offense.
Full court pressure from Pepperdine.
you get the feeling with the Zags, what they've done this evening, they're the type of team, regardless of how they play for 20, even 30 minutes, that 10-minute stretch with them is usually enough to get them a win.
Admin Gilder now in double figures with 11. 6 Zags in double digits tonight. And again, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, they have 7 players averaging double figures this year. The 6 that have reached double digits tonight, and Killian Tilly, who's not playing tonight for Gonzaga.
Well, the Zags, their offense is just kind of like Novocaine. Just give it time. It's always going to work. Anytime you have that many guys that can score and that are unselfish, it's a tough night defensively.
And a steal for Ryan Woolridge. Is Gonzaga, this game was tied at 45 here in the second half. And since it's been all Zags, they've taken control.
Yeah, they cleaned up their act on offense. They stopped with the turnovers. But more importantly, they got out and other guys started contributing from beyond the arc and in transition.
The lob to Corey Kispert. Moving in, Cameron Edwards down the lane. Shot clock turned off. Zags with the ball and a 12-point lead.
You talk about the X factor, what it takes to win 6 games in March. Composure, and that's what you saw out of the Zags this evening. Composure. They were tested, they were pushed, but they responded.
39 consecutive wins for Gonzaga over Pepperdine. As the Zags win their 18th straight game, they're now 26-1. And they've also won their 39th consecutive road conference game, winning here in Malibu. Final number 2 Gonzaga, 89, Pepperdine 77. For Corey Williams and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein, saying so long from Malibu. Sports Center is next.